This is dedicated to the coal miners of America. Coal is one of the main resources from which America gets its strength, and we thank God for the bold and brave men who have the courage to go underground and dig it. He worked in the coal mines ever since he was young. He had to work hard. He was paid by the ton. His face and his hands and his clothes were black. The coal dust laid an inch on his back. Though he was young, he was terribly strong. It came from digging coal all day long. A mine to sink, to dig a coal bank, takes lots of know-how, no matter what you think. America the Great can be proud of him. He did a good job. He never did skim. When he was paid, he held his head high. He earned his wage, this no man can deny. He married his true love, ever faithful to be. She stood by his side, helped him happiness to see. He raised 6 children in Spiller Town, and to this place he will always be bound. There's better places he could be. We're happy right here, my wife and me. This is what you will hear him say, especially when his grandchildren come home to play. He built a home, him, Tom, and Dave. All of his money he had to save. He hoped and he planned and he worked all day, and he paid no heed to what the doubters would say. When the spirit is strong, there's no hope that's too high, and a dream can take wings like a bird in the sky. The vision that guided him seized others too, and he never lost sight of what one man can do. Now he loves to relax in his backyard swing. Going fishing, that's the thing. But to these pleasures he couldn't be led, not when his children needed clothes and fed. He has done his job, and he's done it well. To his responsibility he never fell. He became of age where he could retire, and now being with his family is his greatest desire. From them he receives both respect and love, and he's never stopped thanking the Lord up above. I dial the phone, I let it ring. Grandma calls him from the backyard swing. He picks up the phone and he'll always say, hey. I say, what are you doing? Let's try 'em today. Tell me what time, I'll be ready to go. What do you think, 3 or so? Sometimes we take a bite to eat. There's one thing for sure, I take a soft seat. Because once you're there, you better plan to stay. He won't leave till dark, there isn't any way. Fishing is his hobby, he don't do it for dinner. Just outsmart an old bass, that makes him a winner. We sit and talk about days gone by. He'll take a breath and let out a sigh. Then he'll tell you stories how it used to be. That is before he ever knew me. He loves to talk about when he was a kid. He tells funny stories about things they did. We usually have a contest, and what do you know? I'm one ahead and I tell him so. He just keeps on throwing, smooth and steady. If a big one hits, he wants to be ready. All at once he says, I got one. I watch his rod fin, I think it might weigh a ton. Then all of a sudden, the line goes slack. He says, count that one, I put it back. At least get him up here where I can see. In the boat, that's where they should be. He says, don't you know what it says in the book? You just pull them so far and give them a look. If you read Bassmaster when you get the chance, you'd know you shake them off like me and Bill dance. When it comes to catching bass, he's the smart one. He thinks like a bass, him and Roland Martin. I must admit he's hard to beat. And when I do, it's quite a feat. Because when we get home and tell our story, the loser don't receive too much glory. My father-in-law, my friend, I love him dear, and I want to make one thing perfectly clear. He's caught more bass than I'll ever see, but it's the fun we have that's important to me. They laugh at us for keeping track. Is it in the white or in the black? Laugh if they want to, laugh if they will. They think that's funny, but better still. It's not what you say or what you do. This is not what makes us feel blue. It's when them old bass look up with a grin and say, here comes those two guys. They're back